You see, guys, so why are restaurants successful? Well, they're successful because they provide a service, okay? So because they provide a service, they also have to market themselves. And because they market themselves, they gain customers. And because they gain customers, they gain a reputation for that kind of restaurant. Yes, and so you have to realize that when they gain a reputation, more money comes into the pocket of the restaurant. So when more money comes into the pocket of a restaurant, guess what happens? That owner can choose to invest in more restaurants or can use that money to live life happier, for example. And you have to understand that this goes into business life just easily. So you have to understand that your reputation and your dreams and your fears and everything that you are has to be right now. You have to be much more understanding that your life has to grow into the direction that you need to grow in. You see, guys, you have to understand your friends right now. Who in your life is willing to promote you to other people in the real life, face to face? So when you see people face to face in real life, who in terms of your friends is willing to promote you as an expert in something, or to even promote you online somewhere? Are you understanding why that is? You have to understand that most people in real life will never promote you in real life because they either think that you're not successful or because they might be jealous of you. But the thing is that if you have an online reputation, for example, and you have a personal brand, for example, and you're marketing your success online, I promise you now people can connect the online success you have, and now people understand what you do because you market yourself online and because you're doing something. I see, guys, do you know why I'm successful? Because all I focus on is me. I just focus on me in life and I have nothing else to focus on in life. So you have to understand that in my life, in my world, all I do is try to improve. I try to improve myself in terms of my communication skills. I try to give as much as possible for myself to grow. And all I seek to do every single day is just improve one bit at a time. I try to change one thing about me every single day so that I can live my life the happiest I can be. So you have to understand that I have to be happy, for example, so I'm going to do things in accordance to becoming happy. Do you understand? So I have to make sure every single day that I'm always corresponding to a better way of life. So I'm always thinking in my journal, how can I do better? How can I do better? How can I do better? That's all I think about every single day. So you have to realize when you start to think about how you can do better, then guess what? I promise you, then you can go and find the answers for yourself. You see, this is the thing, guys. In life, you have to understand that you have to grow as a person. And the more you grow as a person, the happier you become. So you have to understand that confidence breathes every single day into your lungs. Okay, you have to understand everything that's oxygen today goes in some way, shape, or form into your body. And you have to understand that you need to breathe in a way that you can grow. And you have to realize every single day your life has to be, how can I do better? How can I do better every single day of my life? What do I have to do today to make sure that I get from A to B? You have to ask yourself questions every single day if you want to have a great mindset. Because great questions lead to great answers. So every single day you have to always benefit yourself in some way. So you have to always develop your mindset, develop your communication skills, and try Toastmasters. Go and public speak somewhere and try to do better. See, guys, are you someone that wants to lose weight? I promise you. So what you have to realize that in life, if you want to lose weight, you have to exercise more and eat less. Yes, and so eat small bits of food when you are actually hungry and not because you want to eat. Okay, you have to realize that you don't eat because you feel like eating. You eat when you're hungry. Okay, you eat when you're hungry only. And try to delay gratification as much as possible in terms of food and drink. And try to delay food and drink as much as possible so that you understand that your body creates its own energy, as Tony Robbins says. So you have to understand that you need to be someone in life who looks great, for example, and every single day has a positive mindset, going out there, making sure that people are getting the content that they deserve from you in terms of inspiration. So making sure that you're an inspiration in life, because that's the only way of life. I see, guys, if you want to do better in life, you have to understand it's all about having a positive mindset in life. So every single day, making as much content as possible so that people can relish in terms of not embellish, but be able to rebel in you. I mean, they have to understand you. They have to be able to grow with you somehow. So what you do is you provide content. And what kind of content? You can go psychology, you can go philosophy, you can go self-help things. And you have to understand that you have an imaginative mind right now that you can use at your disposal, but you have to figure out what your passion is. You have to understand that your passion has to be helping other people every single day to grow, because that's the best passion of all. So you have to realize that the best way you can help other people every single day is to grow your content and to grow a YouTube channel and making sure that you're producing as much content in the planet as possible. I see, guys, the more content you make, for example, the more confident you get. So you have to understand that the reason I practice all my communicational skills in terms of audio programs and what I do in terms of my life is because I try to help myself to examine my body and my mind and my spirit in terms of who I am, in terms of imagination and everything that I am, is because I breathe and live to just understand much more. Yes, and so I want to be able to take myself on a journey somewhere. And what I do in life is I try to every single day make as much content as possible, and I try to grow myself within that content. I try to say as much words as possible every single day, expressing myself the most I can, trying to give people I try to give people a music experience, for example, because I'm a music producer. So you have to understand that you have to have something that you're good at and you have to give it out right now. You see, guys, this is why I turn off the television. I have books to read. I invest myself in books. So I'm reading right now You Do You by Sarah Knight. And you have to understand this woman knows how to communicate with people. And the reason she knows how to communicate with people is because she knows how to write. And when you know how to write, and then you can inspire people through words, I promise you that's the biggest inspiration of all. So you have to understand that those people who read books are the authors of life. I promise you they like to dig into people's mindsets, and they rather do that than watch the television. So I have nothing to do with the television these days because it's all negative information and it's just a waste of time. So for example, for myself, I'm never going to get myself a plasma screen TV because my TV is YouTube channel. You understand? I have a YouTube channel. I watch all my favorite content on YouTube and that's it. I see, guys, if you're looking to quit drugs, for example, you have to understand that if you're not rapidly breathing in terms of life, if you're not rapidly having a panic attack, then you can quit any form of drug right now. You have to understand that people in life go back to drugs because they somehow feel that it's going to make them something much more complete, or that it's going to make them feel better, or that it's going to relieve the cravings, or that it's going to help them in some kind of way to just get over the moments. You understand? But I realize what you need to realize is you need to live much more in the moments, and you have to understand that those people who are not having a panic attack while they're quitting drugs are able to quit. You understand? So you have to realize quitting drugs is the only form of meditation. Quitting drugs is the only form of meditation these days. So make sure that you understand that. You see, guys, words are rebellious. And with the power of words, you can rebel and rebel and rebel on. And you're able to speak fairy tales. You can speak whatever you want in your imagination. You can go wherever you want. I promise you, in words, you can achieve it. I promise you, your goal has to be speaking more words. And the more words you do speak, the more you can impact this world in a better way. So you have to understand that the reason I write so much quote books and stuff like that is because I get moments of inspiration. And as you can tell, for example, if you've read my quotes and stuff, that I have some kind of perspective. And because I have some kind of perspective, someone is going to look at my quotes and be curious to know more, but also be inspired by me because I said something that helped their life to succeed, in terms of it helped them to succeed more and stuff like that. See, guys, what is that one thing that I can teach you? I see it's really mindset. I realize I can teach you mindset more than anything. And it's just a philosophy. So the thing is, don't construct yourself around anything other than words. Okay, so you have to realize words are the picture. And when you picture 1,000 words, you have an image. Okay, and now an image is something that describes your business. And when you have an image of your business and who you are, and of you, for example, you can project that image toward people through words and through images and through everything that you are by really providing examples of where you need to be and where people need to be. Okay, so you have to understand that if you want people to be more imaginative, you have to show them what that means. See, guys, life is simple, really. You have to understand that everything is really simple, but people make it complicated. And why do people make it complicated? Because you have to understand that people are not problem solvers as much as they want to be. So you have to understand that the reason they don't solve problems is because they're not writing content and they're not producing content. So if you look at my page on Instagram and my YouTube channel, you understand that my business is Instagram, but it's also YouTube channel, and it's also TikTok, and it's also Snapchat, and it's also going to be Facebook page, and it's also going to be Spotify. Do you understand? But it's also going to be me on the streets selling my album or music album and stuff like that, and just getting to know people while giving my business card to people much more, so that people can recognize me as somebody so that I can help them. I see, guys, a lot of people ask me, Danny, how do you really speak words? I mean, how do you really get to that point where you have such a philosophy about communicational skills that you can talk to anybody at any time and you can be totally confident in yourself? I realized, well, the answer is that I just produce a lot of content. And because I produce a lot of content, I understand much more about how to build the building blocks of words that is going to inspire someone through communication and tonality and through enigma, and making sure every single day you understand that words come at you really fast. And you have to understand that the more you can speak those words every single day of your words, you can speak your words, for example, and when you speak your words, you can help to inspire yourself into greatness. Because you have to understand everyone has greatness, but you have to realize that you have to push yourself with words and you have to push your emotions. Do you know what's interesting to me, guys? That the more content I make, the more I grow, yeah? So then people see that I grow and people see that I produce content and people see that I'm successful in some kind of manner, and they see that I'm successful in some kind of thing that I do in terms of my passions or whatever I do, and they see success in me somehow. And then when I post my quote book or my information online where they can go and buy my book, for example, of quotes, positive quotes and positive life transforming quotes for $1, I promise you that book is $1. I promise you they will not promote your book. I promise you they will not promote my book, actually. And plus, they will not give me $1 to help themselves to invest in knowledge, for example. So that's very stupid to me. I see, so those people who don't want to buy my books, okay, I mean, they look at me online, and guess what happens? I post a book, and it's full of information. I realize my book is full of information, and guess what? They don't want to invest $1 into me to give me $1 that I don't even make money on you. And I promise you, I don't even make any money on you. So you have to realize that if you buy my book online today, I will not make any penny on your dollar, because I haven't set it up that way. So you have to understand that they are not willing to invest $1 into me to improve themselves, but they go on, I promise you, they go on investing money into Coca-Cola, sugar. I promise you they invest their money into burgers and chips and potato and all that stuff, but they won't invest in knowledge from Danny Milivojevic. I'll show you something really simple, guys. You have to understand that people in real life don't like smartasses. I promise you, they don't like people who try to teach them something about their life. And when you expose something about their life that they need to improve on, they take it harshly and they become offensive in terms of they become in defense. They go in defense about themselves. And you have to realize it's more how in real life, what I personally do is in real life, I don't try to teach people much. But online, I teach the fucking most I can, okay? Because when I go online, that's my platform. I realize social media is my platform where I can teach the most I can. But in real life, I stay quiet because the wisest person in the room is the most quiet. See, that's the thing about life, that no matter what you say in terms of words that you speak every single day, you are always teaching people about your life. So you are a guru. So you are a teacher. But maybe you don't realize that. So some people are teaching others more than others. So for example, you can understand that, for example, in my life, I have much more content that I've produced online, for example, than other people, which makes me more successful than them because I have much more of a growth spurt than they do. Because it's not that I'm not smarter than them, but I'm not dumber than them as well. In a sense, so you have to realize it's much more how I'm just outworking individuals. You understand? I'm actually pushing content out there as much as possible, and I'm doing it more than other people. And that's why I'm successful in some regard. You understand? So you have to understand that. I see, guys, your ability to speak is your ability to teach. So you have to understand that the more you teach people something about your life and something about life in general or overall, then guess what? I promise you, then you have a wider perspective about a broad range of topics that you can talk about in front of people because you have the confidence to speak up in front of people. In terms of you can go to an arena and have 10,000 people watching your name and watching you and who you are because you're someone who's different in terms of you have this unique ability to be able to project your voice at people in a way that they can understand you in terms of your tonality and how you sound, and they can understand the whole picture of what they can understand the whole picture of what you are all about because that's something that you stand for. You understand? See, what you guys can do, for example, is update your Snapchat, for example. And if you don't have Snapchat, make sure that you get yourself a Snapchat so that you can post content on it. But the thing is that what's important with Snapchat is videos won't work on Snapchat. In terms of you won't be able to post videos on Snapchat unless you update the Snapchat application. So that's what I recently found out. So with Snapchat, to say, is a platform that you can use right now to produce content and to get your name out there. You understand? Because that's what it's about. And it's not about fame. It's not about getting your name out there. It's more about helping people. You understand? I promise you, I don't want to be famous. I just want to help enough people. You understand? I want to help enough people to grow. You understand? And that's all I want to achieve for myself. And I hope that you understand that. You see, guys, you have to understand what's important in life. You have to understand you have to go a certain direction in life that's going to improve you. You understand? So you have to understand the library is for free. You have to understand all those books in your vocabulary. Imagine what you can do. You have to understand that if you want to inspire people, you have to read more. You have to get yourself into knowledge, and you have to be a provider of knowledge. You have to understand that I'm a life coach at 30 years of age right now, but I'll be doing life coaching for the rest of my life. So, imagine me in 30 years' time. So I'll be 60 years of age, and I'll be still life coaching in 30 years' time. So imagine how much content I can produce every single day and how much I can impact the world. So look at the world from that perspective. You have thoughts, you use them. You're meant to do that for yourself. You're meant to go a certain direction in life where you're using your thoughts to your advantage. You have to understand that your thoughts are out there in the world right now. Somehow, you have to understand that you've created a lifestyle that you have chosen today. And you are living that type of lifestyle because of all the thoughts you've had before in your past. So if you want to change something about yourself right now, then you have to take certain steps every single day to make that happen for yourself. You have to go make sure every single day of your life that you're going to be inspirational and that you're going to talk in an inspirational tone. And you have to understand, I practice public speaking skills and I do busking performances in front of people. You understand? And I have over 250 hours of busking performances of public speaking events that I've done in front of people, and that's why I'm so good at communication. I see, guys, do you want to know what your biggest inspirational feel in terms of your biggest ability and asset in life and what that is? You have to understand that your asset and your biggest asset in life is being able to inspire others. So if you are unable to inspire others, then something in your life has to change right now. And you have to understand that it has to be something in your life that you're not doing. And I'll tell you right now what you're not doing. You're not speaking enough words. You're not trying to help other people more. You're not trying to give your heart to other people. You understand? So you have to understand that if you want to get into the selfless state that I get into and to really do what I do, you have to understand that you have to professionally develop yourself first, and then you have to also inspire other people to develop themselves. You see, guys, when you go out there and you give your whole heart to everything that you want to do in life, you have a certain direction. In that, you also find yourself much more creative, and you also have much more benefits to give to others, because that's what your soul has to do. Your soul has to make sure that you are doing better, and it's always trying to tell you exactly what you need to do. So you need to listen to your inner instinct in terms of life and make sure that you're going with your heart in terms of life, so that you can go and do a better job for yourself and other people, so that you can go and pronounce yourself in this world in terms of words and who you are every single day, and have a voice is all I'm saying. I promise you, the more you have a voice in life, I promise you, the more you can impact this world. And that's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to inspire you to grow. You have to understand, you have to do something today that's going to help yourself and other people. You see, guys, while they are out there partying and drinking and doing drugs, and also while they are, let's say, wasting time, you have to understand I'm behind the scenes trying to work on myself much more. And what I do is I try to be alone much more. You understand? I try to be with myself, because when I'm with myself, I'm really happy. I'm actually happier with myself, to be with myself, than I am to be with other people, for example. You have to understand that the reason I go alone in life is because I like to be with myself. I like to treasure myself. I like to make sure that I have everything that I deserve, for example. So you have to understand that you have to come from a perspective of an imaginative world, and you have to understand that there's always a way through what your difficulty is. You have to understand that you have to push through those difficulties, and you have to really, really invest yourself in knowledge. You see, guys, all you can really do is be an inspiration every single day of your life. You have to understand there's nothing greater than an inspiration in life. You have to understand that when you grow yourself into an inspiration much more often, I promise you, you're going to impact people's lives. So you have to understand that, first of all, you impact yourself the most, because you have to start with you first. You have to understand you have to put yourself first in life, and you have to really grow your health. You have to grow the person you are every single day. You have to understand to always give as much as you can and be generous, for example, and make sure that every single day you have your needs met. You have to have your needs met in life, because when you have your needs met, you're much more fulfilled in life, and you have much more greater potential to live life, because you have full of meaning in life, and you're really, really coming from a perspective that other people need you. You understand? Because that's what you need. You see, guys, your only point in recommendation of your life that you need to really succeed in is realizing that you have to self-actualize yourself. You have to understand yourself, and you have to know thyself, as Jesus Christ said. You have to understand that your life is made up of little particles of energy, okay? And you have to understand that you are something much more than this world. And you have to understand that if you really understand yourself more, and you understand your perspective, and you understand who you are in terms of your nature, and that you can find every single answer within yourself right now, and that you have a direction and a purpose in life that you have to fulfill in this lifetime right now, you understand that that's the direction you have to go in. You have to understand that you have to go inside of yourself for help. You have to understand that you have to help yourself, because nobody's going to help you more than yourself. You understand? You are the only person in your life right now who's going to help you the most. You understand? So just understand that. You see, you have to understand that you have all the answers, okay? And you have all the questions. You have to decide now what questions to ask. You have to understand, you have to ask yourself questions, and you have to understand it's much more how you have to answer your questions. But then you also have to study more about life. So what you do is you take much more perspective about life. In a way, you gain perspective. You don't take it. But what you do is you try to receive more information. You see, more information in terms of knowledge will make you more aware of who you are. You understand? So you have to understand that, yes, you do have the answers from within, but you still need more perspectives in order to see that. You understand? So you have to get to a point in stage of life where you're actually much more aware of the person you are today in terms of who you need to be. You understand? So you have to do that for yourself. You see, guys, your life is urging you to do something today that's going to really, really be kind and generous, and making sure that you're really doing something spontaneous for yourself every single day, making sure that you're doing something that's going to be outliving yourself. You understand? You have to outlive yourself somehow. So you have to do something that's necessary today, that's going to get people thinking, and that's going to really, really help you to make the world much more aware in terms of your life, and making sure that you're always doing the better job. You understand? You have to do the better job in life every single day, producing as much content so that you can move forward in your career and your life, so that you can produce everything in your heart, so that you can give it out, and so that people can understand you for who you are. You understand? You have to understand that every single day of your life has to be something that's going to be for you to be grateful for. You have to understand to be grateful and just enjoy your life. You see, guys, if you want to go places, you need to promote yourself. And you have to understand that promotion is everything online and in real life, for example. So you have to look your best. You have to feel your best. You have to be at your peak every single day. You have to make sure you're growing. You understand? You have to realize that every single day is always going to bring new opportunities for you to actually promote your music or to promote what you have in life. So if you have nothing to promote, then promote your story. I mean, make sure that you start speaking about yourself every single day, much more with words, and expressing yourself in some kind of direction. Because when you speak much more words, you'll find some direction in what you're saying. So you have to understand that every single day you speak much more and you do more content, you'll find your direction in what you want to do. And that's called happiness. So happiness in terms of life happens when you create meaning in life. And when you create meaning in life, you start to speak more words. You see, guys, every single day I do synonyms and antonyms. And the reason I do that is because I am building my vocabulary. And you have to understand that vocabulary is very important if you want to be a public speaker, or if you want to do something around content where you're actually speaking those words and making sure that you're creative. You understand? You have to be creative in life. You have to get out there every single day, making sure that people can understand you and people can understand who you are and what you do. So make sure you brand yourself, and make sure you look at my Instagram. I mean, I brand myself every single week. For example, I try to go and take new photos of myself and stuff like that. I try to promote new content. I try to create much more content in terms of words and music out there. I try to promote myself as much as possible, because I understand that somehow I can make a difference in life, and that's what you need to do also. You have to make a difference somehow. So make sure you understand that. You see, guys, if you're sitting at home today and you got nothing to do, make sure you understand you can go and read a book. You can go to the library. You can go and take yourself out for a drink somewhere. You can understand that it's not about not being productive. You have to understand every single day you have to be productive. You have to turn off the television. You have to make sure that you're going and vibing out there as much as possible in terms of communicational skills. And you have to boost your communicational skills in ways that you are much smarter today than ever before. So you have to realize that you have to spread other people's information and you have to really, really decorate everything in your own words and make sure you paraphrase and do things according to your nature in a way that you're actually growing in terms of life so that you can actually help yourself to grow. You understand? You have to understand it's much more about helping people every single day and making sure every single day that you understand how to motivate people and how to understand how to succeed. So make sure you teach people your success. You guys have to understand something about information. You have to understand that information is the best place to be. You see, those people who invest in knowledge and who understand information are much more able to guide themselves through life. They also experience much more happiness and they have much more joy and also vibrancy to them because they're much smarter than ever. And you have to realize that when you invest in knowledge, you have all this wisdom that you can teach other people. And then you become a wiser person because of it. And because you become a wiser person, you start to help people much more. And then you start to produce more content. You have to understand, and once you produce more content, you start to help yourself even more. You get to see much more perspectives. You get to make a difference in life. You get to create your own meaning in life. You have to understand it's much more how you become much more powerful. You become much more of a spoken voice. You have a voice out there, and then you project that voice at people, and people understand you. You guys know why, for example, in my life, why I have so much meaning? So when I have nothing to do, I produce content. And when I produce content, I become stronger. And how do I become stronger? It's because I speak more words. I try to make a difference somehow. I try to every single day make sure that I can provide a music experience, I can provide also a word experience, for example. I can provide a presentation of some kind and I can help people with that. So for example, in my life, that's why I create so much meaning in my life, because when I have nothing to do and when I have something to do, it's always that I'm always productive in what I do because I have so much to give. And because I have so much to give, I exuberate love into the universe. And then I get good karma in return. I get some good comments in return and stuff like that. And that's what you can do. You see, what you guys have to learn is you have to learn how to produce content. So some people like to do, for example, programming, or they like to do hairstyle kind of things, or they like to clean the kitchen, or they like to be with their kids. So for example, what these people can do and what you can do is you can start teaching what you're doing on a daily basis. You understand? You can start teaching your life to people. You have to understand, in that kind of way, you produce content, but not only that, you show people your life. You understand? So for example, myself, I may be a little bit obese right now in terms of overweight, but you have to understand that I'm doing necessary things now. I'm eating better. I'm exercising much more. I'm getting back into fitness and stuff like that. So you have to understand that you have to teach whatever your life is. You have to go out there as much as possible and try to promote yourself. You understand? Because that's the number one emphasis of life. You see, guys, in your spare time, if you have nothing to do, make sure that you're doing something to always personally develop yourself. You understand? You have to grow yourself. You have to grow yourself as a human being. So the more you grow yourself is the more content you're producing and the more you're actually helping people. So if you're not helping other people, then you're not really having any meaning in life. You don't have meaning in life if you don't if you're not helping other people. So you have to understand that helping other people generates happiness, and it generates this sort of inclusion and successful, sophisticated idea around perspective and around philosophy of your kind in terms of your nature and in terms of your mindset. And you have to understand that you can teach people something about your life that can always help other people to grow. And not only that, you can put emphasis on yourself to brand yourself as a person. So if you need examples, look at my Instagram and what I'm doing so you have a better idea. You see, guys, so with my life, you have to understand I have a long way to go, of course. I realize everyone has a long way to go, but I have faith in myself right now in terms of the words I speak, that somehow I'm getting through to somebody out there. and that I have a voice and that I'm projecting that voice at people so that people can understand more of how I am. But not only that, so they can understand also my qualities and what I bring to the table. So when I sit at the dinner table with my family, I try to discuss ideas the most. I try to sharpen our skills. I try to sharpen everyone's skills around me. But also, you have to understand that when I'm trying to do something better, you have to realize that some people think they're smarter than you. And when you tell them something, they think it's otherwise. You have to understand with these people who think otherwise than you have to understand you have to let it be and you have to project your voice at people who will listen to you. You understand? Because that's how you do it. You guys want to know why I'm so happy in life? I'm so happy because there was a time in my life where I wasn't doing so good. And there was a time in my life where I was so depressed, where I even quit music production, and all I could do really was sit on the couch all day and just read. And that reading just brought me into this different state of mind. And I started to really, really invest much more money into books. And I started to get much more perspectives about life. And then I seen what people were talking about. And then I had much more guidance from these people because I was investing in them. And because I was investing in them, they brought me a sort of these ideas that I could help myself with. And because I helped myself with these ideas that they gave me, I applied knowledge into my life. And then I created meaning through producing content and through making sure that my voice is heard, because that's what my mentors are doing. So that's why you have to do it too. You guys have to understand, I put in so much work into my communicational skills, and I have got to a point in my life where I'm at the peak of my communicational skills in terms of I'm able to speak anything and everything, and I'm able to put it out there, and I'm able to project it out there at people, and they can take it or leave it. You have to understand, you don't have to do anything I say, but you have to realize that it's much more, you have to do what I do in a way that you have to also help yourself with what I have bring on the table. So you have to understand that what I bring to the table is ideas. So for example, I would love a person, for example, in my life who comes into my life and just sits on the table with me and just speak about ideas on how we can develop ourselves. Do you understand? Because that's the conversation of entrepreneurs, and that's the conversation of everything in life. How can we improve our country? How can we improve our people? How can we improve, just how can we improve? And also how we can improve politics and everything in terms of everything in between, making sure that we're always living our life to the best ability that we can. You see, guys, this is what you can do for extra marketing. You have to understand, first of all, from my experience, I posted so much content online that I don't have much subscribers. I don't have much subscribers on my YouTube account and on Instagram. But the thing is that I know that I'm helping people in some kind of way. And now what you can do extra is you can go out on the street and you can just post your content out on the street, and you have a speaker, you put your speaker on, and what you can do is you can do busking performances on the street, for example, or you can just play your audio content, for example, and you can give them your music experience, for example, or give them a speech or something like that, and you can keep giving out your business cards on the street, for example. So you can keep doing that if you want to do that, but you have to understand that free promotion is the best way. So the more you can freely promote yourself every single day, the better. You see, guys, when you're writing books, you write everything. You write everything you can. So you have to understand that you have to teach little bit of topics here and there about certain subjects every single day that can help someone to grow. You understand? So you have to understand that I don't necessarily write books in terms of paperback books, because I understand that it gets expensive to be able to, let's say, produce paperback books out there. But you have to realize that what I do where I produce my content is I produce it on audio fashion, I produce it via video fashion as well, and I also try to make little bits of content here and there so that I can post it on my social media so that I can help people to grow in some kind of direction, so that I can help people find a direction as well. And that's what I do for my job. And I realize that's my job, for example, is to help people to find their direction and to help them to brand themselves. So you have to understand that. You see, guys, I cannot create success for you, but what I can do is give you ideas based on success. And what you can do is you can use that information to guide your life. So all I do is I'm an information provider, giving information that I've already learned from other people and spreading that information to you so that you can go out there and spread the same information to other people to benefit their life. So that's the cycle of a chain in terms of helping. You understand? So you have to understand that you have to be a supply chain. You have to understand that information today is on demand, and the more people understand information, the smarter they get. So you have to understand that reading is a big part of life, and understanding how to do so by speed reading and making sure that you're always helping yourself to guide yourself through the thoughts that you have every single day in a positive direction is what works and is what is. You see, guys, this is the thing about life. You have to motivate people every single day, making sure that you're inspiring to some degree and making sure that you understand that, for example, with pornography, for example, you have to understand that the more you stay away from pornography, the more you have the ability to quit masturbation. And you have to understand that a dog doesn't masturbate, okay? So be more like a dog. You understand? So, for example, a dog doesn't do drugs either. So why would you? I mean, why would you masturbate and do drugs when a dog doesn't do that stuff? You understand? So if you want to do better, you have to really speak. You have to be fluent in your speaking. So that's why I'm understanding that when I communicate words or music or anything that I do, I personally grow from it. I grow in a way that I'm able to express myself in a way that I can be heard by people, even though I don't have much following, for example. But I find myself much more interesting when I'm creating something, you understand? So you have to understand that if you want to do better in life, you have to understand you have to motivate people. And you have to get to the stage of life where you deal with certain things in life where you're actually helping yourself to grow, making sure every single day you're doing a nice and beautiful job for yourself, making sure you just push yourself to communicate, you understand? But you have to also quit drugs, and you have to understand you have to stay away from drugs so that you can live a full life. You have to understand you have to be able to really get yourself into that equation where you're actually living life to the fullest every single day and making sure that you're speaking your mind much more. You understand? So you have to speak your mind every single day, doing the most you can every single day to always be much more than you are. You understand? That's what you need to do. So if you want to do better, you have to realize that there's certain things that you have to do every single day to make sure that you're always going to pronounce yourself into this world into a better state. You understand? You have to be a better version of yourself every single day of your life. You understand? So that's the ultimate goal, is to be your best version. So once you are your best version, you're going to live life more, and you're also going to be much happier with yourself because you overcame all your obstacles. And you have to understand that's the whole point of life, is to always overcome obstacles and to make sure that you understand something else, that when you're breathing, breathe slower and slower and slower, and make sure that you understand that it's very healthy to do so. And you have to understand it's backed by science as well, that those people who breathe slower also have a longer life. You have to understand a crocodile, for example, only has 3 heartbeats per minute. You understand? 3 heartbeats per minute. And I promise you, a crocodile can also hold its breath underwater for 1 hour to 2 hours or a few hours. So you have to understand that crocodiles are mighty, let's say, fit individuals. You understand? So you have to realize their human nature in terms of the creatures of habitat. You understand? So you have to realize that we also have to be something much more straightforward with ourselves every single day to produce as much content out there as possible so that we can get somewhere in life, so that we can do something with ourselves that's going to be much more recognizing in terms of it's going to be recognized. And you have to realize that you have to get your work recognized, and so you have to brand yourself every single day. You have to understand you take photos of yourself, you post content online, you make sure every single day that people have that information that they deserve, for example, and you just go on doing work for free. And then somewhere down the line, you'll get somewhere in life. You'll get somewhere smarter. You'll be a smarter person for it. You'll make sure every single day you grow for example. So you need to understand, you need to develop yourself as a human being. You understand? So you have to understand that there's so much to do in life. Every single day, I realize every single day I grow myself, for example. I realize there's always much more I can do in terms of life, but I also have to be in that state of mind where I stay away from the coffee, I stay away from the cigarettes, I stay away from the drugs, I stay away from the alcohol, in a sense, so that I can help myself grow. In a sense, so some people have problems with alcohol. I realize I can say some people have problems with cigarettes or heroin or some form of drug out there, or they have problems in terms of communicational skills, they have problems speaking. In a sense, so you have to understand you have to deal with those problems in a way that you find solutions to your problems. So you have to understand that you have to be a solutionist today, and you have to grow your potential. You have to grow the person you are every single day. In a sense, so every single day you grow, you're always going to be much more foundational in the words you speak and in terms of everything you say, and that way you actually grow yourself. So you have to understand you have to focus on yourself every single day. You have to understand every single day is always going to be with new outcomes every single day. So you have to understand that no matter what happens, that you have to always make sure that you're always helping yourself to grow. You understand? You have to help yourself to grow. You have to push forward, and you have to say no to drugs. You have to understand every single day, make sure you say no to drugs and make sure that you're doing something much more credible in life. So you have to understand that there's always a way forward in life where you can actually grow. But what else I will tell you right now in terms of life, and what I'm going to tell you is stay away from sex with other people. And if you have sex with other people, make sure it's just to have a kid, because many people go around having sex with individuals and women and men and stuff, and they find beautiful women and beautiful men to have sex with. But the thing is that they get nowhere in that. And that's just for self-pleasure. You know what I'm saying? For self-pleasure, and you have to understand that's the world's pleasures. You know what I'm saying? So you have to realize that the more you stay away from sex with other people, the more productive you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? So the more successful you're going to be in some type of regard. So you have to understand that Jesus Christ never chased women to have sex with them. You know what I'm saying? So why would you? You know what I'm saying? So you have to realize that no matter what, if you have a purpose in life, you have to realize that you need to grow your purpose, and you have to grow yourself the most. So you have to do things every single day that's going to help you to grow in the best kind of direction every single day. So you have to focus on yourself the most, and you have to focus on yourself more than the drugs. And then you have to stay with the feeling of being in discomfort, because even if you go to the gym or even if you go for exercise, you're going to feel some discomfort, you understand? Or even while you're sleeping, maybe you feel discomfort because there's no blood coming to your hands or legs or anything like that. And you have to understand that's called discomfort, you understand? So you have to realize that things happen for certain reasons, and you have to grow from it. You have to do something today that's going to be performing you in terms of that's going to help you to perform, and that's going to help you to really be someone much more straightforward, you understand? You see, you guys have to understand that I hold power in words. So my biggest, let's say, strength is making music now, and as well as I can also produce words. So you have to understand that something in terms of building my vocabulary every single day and producing content, for example, helps me to elevate. It helps me to elevate myself to make sure that I can build the building blocks of life through making sure that I produce as much content as possible so that I can help everyone to grow, not just them, but also me. You know, because it's not just about them, it's also about me growing myself. So you have to understand that, for example, Jesus Christ wrote the Bible so that he can help you. So that has to be an example for you to understand that you also have to write books just like Jesus Christ does to help other people. You understand? And that's the whole example. You see, guys, this is the amazing thing about having a voice out there. When you have a voice, you can inspire, you can grow, you can do anything that you want to do. You understand? You can travel places, you can do anything that represents you. You understand? So, for example, you have to understand that you are all the sum up of all your thoughts and all your processes, and everything that you've done in life is who you are. You understand? So you have to understand that you are even better than that. You have to understand that you must not limit yourself to what you've done. You must not limit yourself to the words you've said. You must not limit yourself to the money you have in your bank account. I promise you, what matters is that you have a good heart to help people and to make sure that other people are inspired by you in some direction, so that you can actually grow yourself, and so that you understand that growth is all about helping yourself to read much more and to produce something. So when you produce something as a person or as an individual, you just help yourself and the world more. You see, guys, there's a moment in time where you have to stand up for yourself, and you have to understand that you're going to be attacked by people in terms of words, and some words may offend you. And now you must understand, you must never be offended about words. And you have to understand that if someone can offend you by words, it means that they can take control of you because they can control you through the words they speak. You understand? So you have to understand that when somebody calls me a dickhead or an asshole or fat cunt or something that's negative, or something like, for example, recently this guy's like on TikTok to me, he's like, oh, you'll never ever be anything in the computer industry or something. I don't even know what he's talking about. But he's like saying that I can't do anything in terms of life that is with technology, that I won't be able to do technology and stuff. I can do anything I want, and I realize that I don't get offended about that. I just reply positive. You see, guys, if you want to go places, you have to learn how to inspire. You have to learn how to do life better. You have to understand every single day it has to be something greater for yourself, where you can actually express yourself the most you can. You understand? So you have this social media going on, and you can understand what I'm doing on my social media, for example. You can see exactly what I'm doing, but why aren't you doing it? I mean, why aren't you stepping up to take fashion photos of yourself, and also doing things regarding helping yourself to motivate people through words or through music? Why don't you do your passions? I mean, go and do your passion and start doing it on the internet much more, and start being much more enthusiastic about your life. You understand? So I see many people who watch me or in life, I mean, they have no social media profile. I mean, their social media profile is on private. I mean, make sure your social media is on public, and make sure you're a positive influence. You see, guys, if you want to make a difference, it starts with you. You have to understand you are the only person in your life that has to make a difference in your life. You understand? So you have to realize that no matter how much other people can make a difference in your life, if you're not making a difference in yourself right now, and if you're not looking inside of yourself for that help that you need, then you're going to drown in life. I promise you, people who don't have anything to do in life are drowning. You understand? I promise you, they're in depression. So I was one of those people. I was taking drugs. I was going night clubbing and just doing random drugs and stuff like that. And I was nowhere in life. I was going nowhere. You understand? So, for example, now today, because I started picking up books and because I got myself more into motivational speakers and becoming a public speaker myself now, I realize now I can inspire. I realize now I have a voice. I realize now it's so good to just speak. I mean, do you understand how good it is to just speak words? You see, guys, you know what's the massive difference in life? I realize the massive difference in life is whether you're going to succeed or not. And now, if you want to succeed, you have to do what successful people do. But you have to also learn from people's failures. And the only way to do that is to accumulate knowledge in yourself right now. So the best thing you can do is invest in knowledge every single day. So if you get my quote books, I promise you, you pay $24 for 24 books. For example, I have 22 books right now online. You invest $22 into those books. You understand? I promise you, you get the whole collection. I promise you, those ideas will influence you. I promise you, you will be able to be much more inspired. You'll be able to understand exactly where you want to go and what you want to do with life. You understand? So you have to understand, it's all about you. You understand? Where do you want to go in life? What's your direction? What's your passion? I mean, are you in it to inspire people? You understand? You have to ask yourself those questions. You see, guys, this is the thing about life. If you want to go places, or if you want to do things that are unordinary, okay, you have to realize you have to be sometimes unorthodox in life, and you have to do things differently than other people. And you have to understand that it's all about branding. All right. So when you brand yourself, I realize you have more of a business. You have more passion to do something. So you have to understand that you are your business. You understand? So if you mind your own business every single day, you have much more success. So if you understand to always pick up ideas from other people around you, because those ideas are rich, I promise you, they're rich ideas, and you have to always have more ideas in you. You understand? So you have to always read for more ideas. You have to try something new. You have to understand, you have to go places you've never been. You have to do something that you've never done. You understand? You have to be something you've never been before. You understand? So you have to go the new route. You have to go somewhere into the unknown and just realize that that's the best way to grow. You guys have to understand that your time is now. You have to understand your time is now to improve. Your time is now to do something that's going to be reflecting upon your life every single day, making sure that you're journaling everything down. You have to understand, I write everything down. And the more I write things down, the more content I have. And what do I do with that content? I realize when I make so much content, I have to post it up on the internet. You understand? I have to inspire someone with that content, because ideas flow. And the more you flow with ideas, the smarter you are. You understand? That's why when you sit on a table, it's not what you can get from other people. It's more what can you give to them in terms of mindset or in terms of ideas to help improve their life. You understand? Because that's what a selfless person does, and is caring in that kind of nature to be able to inspire people. But you have to understand, that's what you need to do. You have to focus on you, and you have to focus on a better way of life. You see, guys, if you guys want freedom in life, or if you want any money in life or anything like that, you have to understand that freedom is the best way to do everything. So you have to understand that when you're free to do what you like to do your passions, to be much more influential. I mean, don't you want to be much more influential to the people? I mean, you have to understand, like, look at Oprah Winfrey or Tony Robbins or anyone who's successful today. I promise you they're successful because they're helping people. You understand? They're giving a service. So what kind of service can you provide to other people today to make sure that you can benefit and that other people can benefit in the meantime? You understand? So you have to realize with money, for example, you have to understand that working a 9 to 5 job all your life is going to give you experience. Okay, and experience is a rich thing, and it's a learning experience. You understand? So when you go to work, you go to learn. You go to learn to be a better worker. You understand? But then you have to teach people how to do that. You see, guys, the reason I can talk so much content in terms of words and what I do in terms of music and stuff is because I've been practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing what I do. And so what I do is life coaching and music production. So when I first started making videos, I mean, for example, speaking words to people in terms of on videos and stuff. I mean, do you know how scared I was? I didn't know what I was talking about much, but I made sense to some degree. And it's more like when I got myself on video camera back then, I was so much slower. I was so much slower in my speaking and communication that now when I compare to myself and the person I am today, I can compare a big difference in my personal success in communication because I kept on going. I kept on writing things down. You understand? And same goes with music production. I promise you, the more music I make, the better I get. You see, guys, this is what I do on social media. I make 1 minute content of videos with Spectrum. For example, as you can see, something's playing in the audio right now. You can see my voice is manufacturing in a way that when I speak, that nice and beautiful audio is actually playing in the background. And now you have to understand that's just one way to promote yourself. But then I post 1 minute videos to TikTok. I post 1 minute videos to Snapchat. I post 1 minute videos to my Facebook page. And now in the future, of course, I may get myself a website sometime. You understand, when I get more popular and stuff like that. But the thing is that it's not about me being popular. I realize it's much more about me helping much more people. And so I don't care about popularity. I care about just being out there like Oprah Winfrey and just being able to just speak out. I mean, just speak as much as I can. I mean, when you speak as much as you can, you just flow. You see, guys, the reason why I'm not so talkative in real life is because I can be talkative. I can really talk to people. It's no problem. But what I try to do is I try to be more silent in front of people to be wiser. Do you understand? Because always you have to understand that those people who are more silent look like they are less fools in life. You understand? So those people who try to teach people in real life something when they didn't ask for the opinion from you, I promise you, what happens is they get angry or jealous, or they start to really, let's say, attack you because you taught them something about themselves, and they hate that kind of thing about themselves. So what I try to do is I try not to teach you that you are fat and that you are smoking cigarettes and that you are doing this and that's bad, but I just let you be and I just mind my own fucking business. You see, this is the difference between me and them. You see, they're chasing money to build a dream home so that they can have kids, so that they can pay their children's tuition fees for university. You understand? So that they can get a car that is actually like a Mercedes Benz or a BMW or the newest version cars out there, so that they can keep up with the Joneses. You understand? But what I do in my life is I try to build a house of bricks with knowledge. You understand? Because my house is actually knowledge. And the more knowledge I give out there, the more I don't chase money, because I understand money doesn't fulfill me. Because I do my passions for free. I have my passion right now. I'm living the dream. You understand? I have something that I can have a meaning about. I'm doing my passion every single day without money. You understand? So the thing is, with or without money, I have a passion. And that's the main thing. You guys have to understand that many people out there are chasing money and cars and objects and materials and houses and stuff like that. You can see that the housing prices in Sydney, Australia and in Australia are going up. And I promise you, all over the world, the housing prices are going up. So you have to understand that the thing is that you are now much more like a person that is running for the government, for example, to, let's say, not for handouts or anything like that, but you are working for the government and the government is scamming you because they want you to work for money so that you don't have a career and so that you don't have a legacy and so that you don't help other people as much as other people do. You know what I'm saying? So that's where people fall and that's where people succeed as well. You have to understand that most people succeed in life because they help other people. And who helps other people more than other people are the most successful. You see, guys, this is what I'm going to teach my kids. Never chase real estate, and never chase cars, and never chase money, and never chase women, and never chase men, and never chase anything in this life other than your dreams. You understand? So your dreams are much more important right now, and you have to understand that everyone has a dream. You understand? So you have to realize that you need to take certain steps every single day to fulfill your dream. And now, what is your dream? You have to define it. You have to set a target. You have to set small goals to achieve it. And you have to write daily on how you can do better every single day to make sure that you can go and do better with all of that in terms of achieving your dreams. You understand? So make sure you understand that it's not about anything other than knowledge. So leave knowledge behind is what I would tell my kids. You know that saying in the Bible where Jesus Christ has a lady that comes to give a donation and she gives 1 penny while everyone else around her, in terms of some other people, gave millions of dollars in gold and stuff like that. And Jesus Christ says that this lady who came and gave her last penny that she had given the most. You understand? She gave the most. She gave everything she had. You understand? So what does that mean? It means that it's not about how much money you have in life. You understand? It's about how much can you give. You understand? How much can you give of yourself? You understand? How much knowledge can you give? You understand? How much content can you produce? You understand? That's what Jesus Christ was talking about. I promise you, Jesus Christ wasn't, let's say, too much impressed about anything other than making sure that he's impressed about giving, but make sure you give. You see, guys, me, like many people, didn't get the privilege of being around rich people right away. You understand? So some people were born into rich families with rich mindsets and rich habits. You understand? So I didn't get that privilege. You understand? But I learned how to be poor, and now I'm learning how to be rich. You understand? So the thing is that I don't think someone who has been rich all their life knows how it feels to be poor. You understand? So I don't think they're really living their life, to be honest. I reckon that the best kind of lifestyle is when you go from poor to rich. I mean, look at Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, look at Jeff Bezos. I mean, look at John C. Maxwell and Brian Tracy and Zig Ziglar and Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki and also Gary Vaynerchuk and many other people like Eckhart Tolle as well, and Osho, for example. I mean, people who are going rich from poor, you understand? That's what you need to do.